Well, and that leads us to the June 7th card, which is a fight night. It's Benson Henderson.
Right.
And he is headlining the card versus...
You go on and say it, man, because you're not setting me the fuck up. I know what you're trying to
Rustam,
do. You're not slick.
Versus some Russian cat.
Say those consonants, son.
Yeah, there's a Z in that bitch, and there's a V and some extra Khabilov, Rastum Khabilov, and this is Benson Henderson's second fight without the belt since losing the Pettis, and the dude he's fighting against has ripped off 6 in a row. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think Benson.
I mean, the guy he's fighting you're right. He's won 6 in a row. The only person to me during that course of that 6-fight win streak that's really impressive is Jorge Masvidal. I mean, that's I don't know if I should say impressive, but the only person that I really recognize as a kind of big name fighter is Jorge.
Right.
And other those, you look at that resume, George. How many of those other fighters that he's beat that you know? Seriously,
I'm with you, but I think
ticking.
when you give a kid who's how old is this mug? He's what, in his mid-20s? Yeah, late 20s. Yes, he's 27. I think this is his shot. I think this is his chance to make his name. And Benson Henderson, I think we've seen, is not really a finisher. So if he comes into this in a 5-round fight and tries to take it the distance, I don't know if he wants to do that. I think Benson's going to have to try to end this. I mean, what I mean by not a finisher is he doesn't have a lot of power in his hands. I don't think anyone's going to argue that with me. Benson Henderson's not going to knock you out with a punch. I see he's got TKO, thumb injuries, a KO. Oh, this is the Russian dude. Yeah, he's I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It is interesting, and one of the reasons it's interesting just for the last event we saw something, the same type of shit where, no one would pick fucking Hidden Barral to be upset, and Dillashaw's like, you guys better fucking tune in because I'm going to upset this cat. And all of a sudden, bam, it happens. And
in Benson Henderson's last fight, he was up against a very tough kid in Josh Thomson, and it took it to a split. So it'll be interesting to see if Pootie Tang will come out and put on a show, or if he's going to just if he's going to pull the GSP, if he's going to put the car in reverse, back up, back up. And I hope he doesn't do that. I hope he comes out and tries to end it. But there's some other, I wouldn't say huge names, but I mean, it's a decent card for free. Diego Sanchez is resurrecting the Nightmare moniker. Okay, versus Ross Pearson. Let's face it, we all know what's going to happen. That bell's going to ring, and Diego Sanchez is going to run across the ring and put his chest on Ross Pearson's, and just they're going to scrap.
No, that's it. Well, but before the bell rings, he's going to say yes, yes, about 4 or 5 times, and then he's going to go fight that son of a bitch. Who do you got winning this?
No.
Yeah.
You're
between
going with
Sanchez
Ross?
And Pierce. God, man, Diego Sanchez is a hard guy to bet against, man, because you got to have a motor and be able to take punishment when you fight the guy because he just never stops. But Pearson looks good. I got to go with Pearson. I just felt like Sanchez, even though he's brutal and he keeps coming, he's just kind of on the decline, and I feel like Pearson is actually going the other direction. So I got to go with Ross Pearson.
Yeah, I'd love to go with you on this, but I'm not. I think the Nightmare is resurrected that name for a reason, and I think he's going to catch Pearson, and I think he's going to end this.
Yeah. You think so? You think he's going to end it?
Yeah, I think Diego's going to finish him. I think he's going to end up choking him out. I think he's going to end up clipping him because Diego's ground game's nasty as hell. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize how good of a wrestler Diego Sanchez really is.
Yeah,
because he's gotten away from it lately and done a lot of stand-up, and I think he's doing it to get a paycheck and do something for the crowd. But you got to realize is one paycheck plus a bonus wouldn't equal to 3 more fights that year. And if you take the amount of damage that he's more than likely going to take, you're actually shortening your career and lessening your opportunities to fight.
Right. No, you're right about that. I mean, and this is the thing I have a hard time envisioning. I always can imagine Diego Sanchez's face bloody as shit. I think all of us can do that. But I can't imagine him getting knocked the fuck out.
No.
Because it just doesn't happen.
But I'm going to tell you what, if there's somebody that can do it, Ross has got dynamite in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, the guy throws bricks without a doubt and stuff like this, but I just still can't, because I've never seen it. It's kind of like before Henderson got dropped. You just couldn't envision it because you've never seen it really happen. I mean, I think he might have been knocked out. And has Diego Sanchez ever been knocked out?
I
don't know if he has or not. Second. While you're looking up that, I'm going to talk about this flyweight battle.
6 by decision. Who knocked out Diego Sanchez? This should be interesting. Decision.
It probably was somebody.
BJ Penn got a TKO.
Who did?
BJ Penn, unless that's what they're calling out, unless they're calling that a knockout, because I think they classify. Yeah, I think so. No, he's never been knocked out. He has been TKO'd because BJ Penn beat the brakes off his ass in that fight.
Yeah, BJ. That's the worst fucking ass whooping he ever took.
That's the worst ass whooping I've ever seen in a ring, because that shit was prolonged.
Yeah. It was bad. It was bad. But the thing, like what we're saying is that, okay, you look at fucking BJ Penn close to his prime doing that and putting the ass whipping on Diego Sanchez. He was still fucking coming forward.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know if I can see Ross Pierce even though he punishes motherfuckers, I don't know if I can see him handing out that type of punishment.
Yeah, but you pick Ross Pierce in the win, so you better see him doing it.
I know. Now I'm starting to wonder. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, next fight I want to talk. What? Huh?
Hey, go ahead.
No, next fight I want to talk about is this flyweight fight between John Dodson and John Moraga. Now,
flyweights.
Dodson, flyweight. Flyweights. I tell you what, Dodson is. You and I both know is at the top of the class. I don't. Do you think this guy can walk in and beat him? I mean, I'm going to check out what he's done lately. What have you done for me lately, as Janet says?
Well, Dodson's pretty impressive. Stayed impressive. His one loss is to Demetrius Johnson, who I'm pretty sure is still a champ at this weight.
Right.
And
yeah. I mean, this guy's already lost to John. One of his losses is he's had two losses in his career. One was to the current champion in that class, which is Demetrius Johnson. And then the second loss he had was to John Dodson via decision. He lost a decision to him. So, I mean, this might just be the thing of who has got better since the last time they met.
Right.
I mean,
this could be a pretty well even match, is what it sounds like. And
well even, son. Well even.
If it's gonna be well even, you know what? I'm gonna go with not the biggest name. I'm gonna go with Mayorga for the win.
You are?
Yeah. Because I'd have to say, if I wrote John Dodson on paper and John Mayorga on a paper, you would know one's an MMA fighter and one works somewhere that's not in an MMA ring.
At the U.S. Post Office.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Dodson just to fucking mix it up for us.
Good.
Dodson, and see him do a backflip.
I think those are going to be the fights that Kevin and I touched on this one. You got other names, Rafael Dos Anjos, Yves Edwards, Brian Caraway. You got an undercard with Spotty's on there, which I don't think he's Spotty anymore. I think the Vitiligo's taken completely over.
That would be Scott Jorgensen fighting Danny Martinez. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Bobby Volker, whatever the fuck. Yeah. So I mean, it looks to be a pretty decent card. It should be entertaining. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. It's got they even have on that preliminary card on the Fight Pass, which George and I refuse to fucking be a part of. Patrick Cummins is fighting. So there is like George said, there's a lot of decent names on this fight on this card. So, but we're just sticking with the top three because you know what? It's time to talk some fucking other sports.